Trentino. Jen Jackson makes a good start from the centre in the Canadian National Champions jersey, but out front is Samara Maxwell in the first right-hander first.
There's Mona Mitovana as well in the middle in the blue, drifting back. Jenny Risveds as well on the outside, getting a slightly poor start, so already getting bulked.
You can see the traffic piling up behind them here as they head up the climb for the first time, giving us a first look at this UCI Cross Country Short Track World Cup course. And expecting quite a few laps here this evening, Ollie, as well. Quite a short track, isn't it?
Yeah, they're getting around this lap in under 2 minutes, so 10, 12 laps or so, depending on this lap of the speed of this first lap. But you see as we're dropping into the woods here, a little climb, sweeping descent, and then there's a climb up to the slippery turn. I think it's this turn coming into the feed where we could see problems. You see how loose it is in the dust.
Really blowing out. You see Lyra Steger taking a big chance there in that Duffy outside stuff. And get a visual on her where you can see Freya Brest going into that left-hand. There's Jen Jackson at the front now, ahead of Martina Berta in second place. Berta, former Italian national champion, on that gold jersey. There's Samara Maxwell buried right back in the pack, so she's had a bit of a moment somewhere there, Ollie.
Yeah, she's obviously leading coming down for that feed zone, so I guess in these first couple of bends where it tightens up, probably a little bang of bars, and then it's enough to then, before you know it, your foot on the floor and you've drifted back to the teens.
But Puck Peterson at the front of this race now, really taking it on, a specialised Zina Fry who's gone with her.
Yeah, Fry, an amazing previous world champion in the short track, but yeah, it's Puck Peterson.
Peterson's driving this, you know, this could be one of those attacks from Puck Peterson. Zina Fry's managing to peg her back.
And you see how that acceleration from Puck's just lined it out, and you see the gaps appearing.
Having that all-important faith that it's going to stick.
But when it's so dry and it's so dusty, and we were walking the downhill yesterday, and that's the extreme version. I mean, but it's deep in dust. It rained a little last night, but it just soaked it up straight away.
And it does that here, both in cross-country and downhill. The dirt just turns to powder. It's talc-like almost, as you can see the haze of dirt, the roost. Volunteers there, doing a great job, but Peterson attacks again.
And I think Puck knows that this course isn't selective enough, so she's going to have to do repeated attacks and just hopefully just grind them. There's a gap appearing.
Yeah, you saw Jackson there look over the shoulder.
Yeah, Nicole Collar, we see Ghost Rider in the Swiss champs top.
Here we go, Peterson versus Fry in the Whoop Live. 185 plays 179. They're both going hard here, deep into the red. Yeah. But Peterson just closing off an attack from Alessandra Keller, as it's Jen Jackson who takes the lead on the lap. 10 out of 11, penultimate lap here in.
Yeah, they've opened it up a little bit, especially the corner at the start-finish. And here we go.
Here we go, they take the bell and they head on to the last lap at the 5th round of the UCI Cross Country Short Track World Cup. Who is going to take the win here? Jen Jackson leads them across from Puck Peterson. Jenny Risvids. Kohler's up around the back of Keller now. Steger's in there as well for Specialised. This is the lap that counts.
Jen Jackson's going to go long. It's about 1:30 minutes.
Jen Jackson doesn't fancy taking this one to the line. She's turning the screw now. Kohler up alongside Puck Peterson, the Swiss national champions jersey. It's getting congested at the front, nearly 4 abreast as they head round the right-hander.
Yeah, Risveds just took the front wheel away from Puck Peterson.
That's Peterson who's emerged in the lead as they turn left now.
Keller on the outside trying to counter.
Risvids though, Risvids has played her cards very close to her chest throughout this race. 185 beats per minute on the Whoop Live for Puck Peterson. This is it, maximum attack, Ollie.
Yeah, hold the wheel now. This is Puck. She's going to launch it out of this corner so you can go with her.
Peterson stands on the pedals, heads up the climb. Risvids digs deep, she's going with her. Keller swinging all over the bars, trying to hold tight. But Puck Peterson is disappearing up the climb on them here in Val di Sole.
Laura Steger it is who's trying to respond.
It's Peterson versus Risvids as they head towards the last section of the final lap here in Val di Sole.
We got these two bends.
These really awkward off-camber corners. Puck Peterson, though, stays in control of this one. Is she going to win her second UCI Cross Country Short Track World Cup in the bounce? Or is Jenny Risvids going to mug her in the line? The last corner is been, it's gone. It's a drag race between Peterson and Risvids as they head towards the line. Peterson digs deep. Puck Peterson takes the win in Val di Sole Trentino. Jenny Risvids is second and Laura Steger is third place for Specialised Factory Racing. What a final lap from that woman on your screen now, Puck Peterson. Well, Fry ended up in 6th position. I think Steger's being generous there. You were just that little bit ahead.
Congratulations once again, Puck. You're an absolute machine. Talk us through that final lap, and in particular, the battle you just had with Jenny Rissveds.
So, it was quite cagey, the whole race, actually. And after a few laps, you could see a bit where people would overtake and where it was impossible. And yeah, then in the last lap, I knew I would have to go early because the sprint finish is a bit shorter than the last few years. So I thought I need to try it from the front, and luckily it worked out.
And green means go here in Val di Sole Trentino. It's a good start from Christopher Blevins on the left-hand side with the #1 red plate. He heads them into the right-hander first.
Yeah, and it's Lucas Schwarzbauer as well. The light green of Canyon Collective, good start for him.
Blevins gets the whole shot then. Schwarzbauer over his right shoulder, over to his left-hand side is his teammate Martin Vidari, who's got past Victor Koretsky in the white and rainbow jersey of the UCI World Champion.
And positioning in these first couple of laps and staying out of trouble is going to be really key. There's going to be some banging of some bars, and I think there's going to be some crashes in these next few corners, so really important to try and stay in that front 5 or 6 if you can.
As we saw in the elite women's race, these corners in the second half of the course really all about commitment to line choice and staying confident with that front wheel and making up some positions, but you can see how tightly stacked the pack is as they head through that one, through this big long left.
It's Koretsky that had a poor race and a bit off colour, so see what he can do in this one.
Yeah, fastest first lap going to Schwarzbauer, then Blevins, Colombo, Vidari. So choppy through that right-hander.
Yeah, and if you drift back a little bit on those corners, you just keep losing the wheel. You've got to attack every time, but it's talking of attack, it's Schwarzbauer who's dropping his heels and putting the pressure on.
But if you're Christopher Blevins, step 1 complete, you have survived the first lap. Look at Koretsky though, a bit of a gap forming now back to Luca Martin on that Cannondale in the green, white and orange.
You've got to make risks.
Blevins down to 8th now though.
Yeah, and then it gets choppy and then it gets risky, and the chance of a crash or an incident increases. It goes through the roof if you go out, and you see straight away you're getting bobbled.
Yeah, just getting bungled up in the pack as we see.
Andre Sink
struggling with the limiter tape on the side of the course there and taking a look down at the bike, but Christopher Blevins needs to come through the pack here.
There we see Luca Martin just floating there, about 8th wheel now for the Cannondale rider.
Lap 8 out of 12 then here. Val di Sole Trentino, 6 years ago in snowshoe. You've got to go back for Nino Schurter's last short track win. He's done a lot of cross-country Olympic winning around here, basically all of it. Yeah, apologies, it is Lilo who's up there in the mix for Giant Factory Racing. 174 beats per minute. Into the red zone now for the UCI cross-country short track world champion.
Watch out for Nino Schurter as well, doing the best short track I've seen in a while.
Looking really punchy here on the number 10 bike, Nino Schurter. There's Jens Shermans now in the Belgian national champs jersey, moving into third wheel.
And it's Schwarzbauer again, dropping his heels, big attack. Blevins looks behind.
Huge reserves of energy from Lucas Schwarzbauer at the front of this one. Look at what Lucas Schwarzbauer is doing at the front of this race, just exploding it.
Luca Martin coming to grief, just banging bars with Shermans, clipping out.
Christopher Blevins, though, refuses to be shaken by these attacks. Luca Martin in that green, white and orange jersey of Cannondale Factory Racing, nearly up into 2nd place now. Huge recovery from the French rider. Lucas Schwarzbauer leads them across the line. 1 to go in Val di Sole Trentino.
Right, here we go, about 1 minute, 20 seconds of power.
Thomas Litcher goes up the inside. Blevins now has to dig deep to fend off Litcher. Blevins in the lead, Schwarzbauer into 2nd place, then it's Martin in 3rd alongside Litcher in 4th. Blevins though leads on lap 12 out of 12 here in Val di Sole Trentino, and he's starting to apply the pressure, Ollie.
And Luca Martin trying to move up the outside of Litcher. See the Cannondale riders trying to find a way through.
They are all still so close together. Nearly the top 10 the same second as they came across the line, but Blevins leads them around the first half of the final lap here. There's half a bike between him and Lucas Schwarzbauer as Litcher and Martin come into blows now. Banging bars for third place. Martin stands on the pedals. He knew that was a really important line to hook up, and he's got it.
But Blevins is going, the gap's appearing.
Blevins attacks now. Christopher Blevins off the front. Look at the power of Christopher Blevins as he disappears up the road from Lucas Schwarzbauer. Second place, Victor Koretsky.
Can anyone get back on terms? But the pace of Blevins out of that corner, but it's Koretsky, Schwarzbauer, Litcher.
What a tactical masterclass from Christopher Blevins as he heads towards the line. It's his teammate in second place, Victor Koretsky, but look at the gap that he has built. Tomac, overend, Blevins, Christopher Blevins makes it 5 in a row. It's a famous 5 for Blevins here in Val di Sole, Trentino. What a result for the Specialized star. Koretsky and Schwarzbauer.
Wow, Chris Blevins blows us all away. Once again, the first person to ever win all first 5 short track races. Sum that up for us. What's going through your mind?
I mean, I really try to start from zero every race, you know. It's easy to let the ideas of what you've done or, you know, the fear of losing it kind of accumulate. So, I mean, that's what's working for me is just coming back to ground zero. Every race is a new race, and I think I executed really well today and then had that kick on the last lap that I needed.
Yeah. Wow, Chris.
Here we go then. The slightly tweaked, slightly revised Val di Sole Trentino Black Snake. Out in the open, start hut's been moved down slightly, and then, I mean, that's that old Val di Sole adage, isn't it? It's hardest whenever you're in the trees, and it's basically all in the trees.
Yeah, it's not on a ski piste really at all. Like the ski slope's above this, so the whole meat of the track is in the forest.
Lisa Bouladou in the hot seat for the time being. But meanwhile, 8.5 seconds faster is Jess Blewett.
She looked really aggressive on track this week, even from the first practice. She's got her brother here scouting lines for her, and yeah, she looks like she's capitalizing on all that support and putting a really good run together here.
Yeah, over 8 seconds at the last split, so let's see what this adds up to. Blewett on her way to the line now. Crosses at 11 seconds faster with a 4:12. Huge, huge time from Jess Blewett. What can she do today? Tani Seagrave leaves the Star Hut for FMD Orbea. Yeah, as we just wait for her. Oh. Through this sector, just blows wide off the course. Not going to be Seagrave's day today.
I wonder if there's an issue with the bike. That's really not that technical of a turn. I'm surprised that she went off the track there. Maybe a...
Has to push back up to re-enter the track where she left it. And a bitter disappointment for Seagrave. Thumbs up, though. Looks to be okay.
Yeah, I feel like I jinxed that.
Tani currently in third as we started today in that competition. So this could be a big advantage to Seagrave. Getting down over the line in one piece. Won here back in 2019.
Yeah, the season's been a steady build for her so far. I'm sure she'd like to continue that trajectory in the right direction.
She's one of those riders, Anna, as well. She's strong every week, Marina, isn't she? She's just, it doesn't matter what the track's doing, what the weather's doing. She's a second quicker here at split 2. She just gets on with it.
For sure. She's a rider that you can never count out. She's so consistent and she's always up there.
4 left to go then. Balanche, Hemstreet, Hull and Hrasnik yet to take on the Black Snake here in Val di Sole Trentino. The 4th round of the UCI Downhill World Cup this season. 10 rounds this year as well. More than we've ever had.
She goes for the inside line there. We saw some of the other girls opt for the left line, and she gets a really good pump and drive, which carries you all the way down this whole next straightaway.
The team manager, Gabe Fox, looking on. 1.5 seconds now faster for Cabarrou ahead of that time of Blewett. So for the first time, starting to look like it's in trouble. Marine Cabarrou going to work here in the woods.
This will be the section we can see what she can do. I think Jess's time at this bottom 2 sectors was really impressive.
6th in the overall at the minute for Cabarrou. 2nd here at the UCI World Champs in 2021. Goes super far out to the right-hand side. Gets really close to that tree on the way through there. Makes it work for her. Fastest sector time so far going to Seagrave, Cabarrou, Blewett. She was so strong down the bottom of the track, Anna Jess Blewett.
She was, yeah. She carried really good speed, especially in the bottom. It seems like she was able to hang on, but it looks like Marine is going really well too.
Yeah.
2 seconds up.
2.2 seconds up now. Cabarrou is having a good time in the woods here in Val di Sole Trentino. A woman from Millau in France.
She took a tight line there when she went around that rock. She hooked it right and gave her a straight exit out of the woods.
Marine Cabarrou looking really, really good here in Val di Sole Trentino. Is she about to be the first woman to displace Jess Blewett from the hot seat here this afternoon? Here comes Marine Cabarrou down the line now. Cabarrou sails the final jump, crosses the line and goes fastest by 2.2 seconds. Into the hot seat for Marine Cabarrou with a 4:10.3. Times now comfortably underneath that fastest quality time of a 4:15.3 from yesterday. Here comes Camille Balanche then, Swiss rider for Yeti Fox, pushing a massive gear out of the star hut there.
Cammie's been so steady this year. She's had really good results, been really consistent, but just slow build through the weekend and shows up on race day.
I mean, yeah, 7/10 back, having been faster in split 1. So in amongst it here, Balanche, we talked about, back end
she
skips
goes
out.
for this inside line there. There's a big route you have to jump, and her back wheel obviously got hung up on it. She still made it through, but it stalled her a little bit, took a little bit of speed.
Big pull down there from Balanche. 3.2 seconds back though, Anna. It's moving away from her slightly.
Yeah, Marine was really strong through these middle sections. Cammie's riding really well too, but just slightly off pace to Marine.
I think a lot of that was that hang up on the route that we saw higher up.
Good example of just how this place can just cost you speed when you least expect it, Nico. Camille Balanche then sails off the Red Bull gap through the Sam Hill turn.
Nothing like feeling like that while you're riding the most technical track of the year.
Yeah.
Here she comes, Camille Balanche. Just 1 jump to go. Cabarrou currently fastest with a 4:10.3. What can Balanche do? Balanche does a 4:16.7, 6.4 back. Damien Smith applauds the work of his newly signed elite rider. And Nico, the last couple we've talked about are winning them in the woods when things get steep and technical. She's got nothing but woods and steep and technical in front of her today.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she's got a whole lot of that. Those last 2 races, I mean, for her and Jackson, both Canadian winners, you wouldn't expect them to have a win on a track with so much flat motorway. Now they're both coming to a track that has almost none of that. So it'll be exciting to see what these runs look like from both her and Jackson today.
Anna, you've raced Gracie for years now, and it's great to see it all coming together, isn't it? And just getting those 2 wins on the bounce.
Yeah, for sure. She's really coming to her own this year. She's riding so strong. In practice, she always looks really good on the bike. In Ludenville and Leogang, she obviously did really well. She excels so much on these steep, rough tracks. So it's going to be exciting to watch her race.
Norco Race Division. Those wins have definitely, and of course the win of Lena Frenner as well. 1.9 back though. Really energized by them.
I think that she's still within touch. I mean, this can still go either way with how much technical track we have ahead of us here.
We really see Gracie excel at the bottom of the tracks too.
Hemstreet loves it steep, loves it technical. It's never steeper or more technical than it is here in Val di Sole Trentino, halfway through a run.
She hit that right really clean. It's a hard turn. It's really tight. It wants to stall riders out, and I think she's hit it better than anybody has.
1.7 back though, so this time of Caberu looking all the better. Every split we see from Gracie Hemstreet, nicely done through there though.
Looks like she's moving into kind of the range to challenge Jess though for second. So when you're wearing that leader's jersey, if second's what you got on the day, you got to take that.
Is it going to be 3 in a row for Gracie Hemstreet? She'll have to have done something really, really special through that last split to get it. Hemstreet heads down the line for Norco. 2 seconds back on that time of Marine Caberu, but second place, Nico. What are you expecting out of Valentina Hole then, Anna, today?
Yeah, I think she's going to have a good run. She's a really strong rider. Physically, she's like one of the strongest out of the women. She's really good at tech stuff. She's so precise. I think she's probably the most precise out of all the women. Just watching her ride is just nice. She puts her bike where she wants to go, and we don't often see her make big mistakes.
I don't think you need, it's a long season, and she's had podiums, just maybe not the win she wanted, but I don't know, I have a feeling it could be coming today. That combination of strength and precision is what it's going to take on Val di Sole.
She's faster, 0.6 of a second. Up now, Valentina Hole on the move here as team manager Gunnar watches on in the bottom corner of your screens now. But she's got a job on if she's going to beat the current fastest time of Marine Caberu, which currently needs to survive this woman on your screen now, Valentina Hole. Hole, 0.4 of a second. She's losing time, but she's still green. 56.5 kilometers an hour through the speed trap now for Hole. YT watch on, looking for their first win in 2025. They'd dearly love to get it this afternoon in the sun in Italy. She's back now though, Nico. 0.4 have gone away from her.
Man, it looks like she just maybe stalled some of those tighter turns here in the last split, but 0.4 isn't a lot. She can make that up from here to the finish.
Unbelievably tight racing here in 2025, the UCI Downhill World Cup, given the track that they're being faced with today here in Val di Sole Trentino. An absolute dust bowl, blowing apart, full of rocks, full of roots. Valentina Hole exits the woods. Just 2 corners and the bridge to go. Sneaks 1 pedal stroke in there. Valentina Hole heading down towards the line now for the YT mob. 58, 57 kilometers an hour. Here comes Valentina Hole. Is she headed for the hot seat? Valentina Hole goes second. Marine Caberu holds on. 1.2 seconds the difference. Caberu was so strong at the bottom, Anna. Best qualifying here. Beat her 2022 performance, a second yesterday.
Really cool to see them in this position. I mean, it's a new team this year. It's a big effort for Reese Wilson and all of his support crew. So to have a win in the qualifying and start last is it's something that takes many teams many years to do. So very good to see her in this position.
Must be a story as well that resonates with yourself as well, setting the team up, getting it underway, getting it going.
Yeah, absolutely. I can respect how much work goes into it. So.
You know what that inbox looks like, don't you?
It's cool to see him having this success. Like, I hope the best for her today. She looks really good on track.
Monica Rasnick on that Gamux bike. Swiss engineered.
And these bikes have looked really good this weekend from all the riders. I mean, the track being this rough, they're going for obviously a more comfortable ride. The bikes flex more. They're heavier with the gearbox, the weight distribution, and on this track they look like they're excelling under these riders.
Rasnick half a second back at the first split, going for her debut win should she get it today. A couple of third places here in 2018 and 2024, but
she goes to the outside line in this fresh section, a little bit different line to the last 2 riders. She might be on for it today.
Yeah, this could be a big day in the career of Monica Rasnick. Saying that, she's 2 seconds back off Marine Caberu now. Caberu, is she about to get her 10th UCI Downhill World Cup win?
I'm not really seeing any mistakes here from Monica. She looks like she's having a really smooth run. Yeah. Kind of sticking to her game, which is sometimes hard to do when you qualify first and you have that added pressure.
So top 3 covered by 2 seconds. Currently, Rasnick would just be inside the top 3 and no more.
She didn't quite get the jump out of that root section that some of the other riders did. So,
like getting chopped around underneath her there. Rasnick Guess that pull she's found some time now. 0.2 of a second, 1.8 back. Really neat and tidy on the bike, but aggressive at the same time. Monica Harasnik on course here in Val di Sole Trentino, the last rider in this elite women's race, having qualified fastest yesterday. 1.3 seconds back, so she's found another half a second. She's going to have to do this one the hard way.
She had a really good bottom sector in qualifying, so it'd be really cool if she was able to do that again.
Kabiru can barely watch. Is this going to be win number 10 for her or win number 1 for the Slovenian on our screens now? Monica Harasnik for Aon Racing heads out into the light here in Val di Sole in the Valley of the Sun. Takes flight. 2 more corners to go. Monica Harasnik on the move now. Can she get career win number 1? Is this going to be her debut victory at the UCI Downhill World Cup? Monica Harasnik takes flight, heads towards the finish line, crosses it and goes third by 1.8 seconds. Kabiru wins in Val di Sole Trentino. Career win number 10 at elite level for Marine. Monica Harasnik into third place though, behind Vale Hole. And that's great to see. Aon Racing on their podium. There's Fabian Burrell. I did think it was strange we hadn't seen him. Marine Kabiru celebrates with Fabian and Gabe.
Yes, of course, my beginning of the season was not super good for the moment, so I was fighting a bit to be on the podium and at the top again, so I'm really happy to win today. It was a really challenging weekend. I tried to push, the track was really destroyed, so I give my best and finally that paid off.
Kabiru, Hole, Harasnik, Hemstreet, Blewett, Balanche, Hoffman, Harnden, Ferguson, Bouladou, your top 10 by 13 seconds. But there can only be one winner, and today it's Marine Kabiru, her 9th UCI Downhill World Cup victory. Can Kabiru now get on a bit of a run and start thinking about the overall title? This is what the overall standings look like then. Valentina Hole, despite waiting for her first win in 2025, now leads the way in the overall, taking it back from Gracie Hemstreet by 49 points. Tanny Seagrave up into third. Anna Newkirk, who we should thank for joining us in the booth. I mean, I know we've got technically the best. Here we go then. The slightly tweaked, slightly revised Val di Sole Trentino Black Snake. Out in the open, start hut's been moved down slightly, and then, I mean, that's that old Val di Sole adage, isn't it? It's hardest whenever you're in the trees, and it's basically all in the trees.
Yeah, it's not on a ski piste really at all. Like, the ski slope's above this, so the whole meat of the track is in the forest.
Next up though, Ollie Zwar, Orbea FMD Racing. Josh Carlson's nodding his approval already.
Now, I know he's got a Swedish flag on his arm, but I'm claiming Ollie as our own. He's had a bit of an issue in qualification yesterday. He crashed in Q1, but he made it happen in Q2. He's been riding well all week, and even though he did crash, he was still right on form here. So this is a good, solid run. He's been fastest and green at every single split of the day.
0.4 of a second up at split 4 for Ollie Zwar then. Swedish, Australian, whoever wants to claim him, he's headed for the hot seat here. Ollie Zwar for Orbea FMD. Tony Seagrave, his team manager, watching on. Had a huge smash in Q1 yesterday. Not a bother to him. Home by half a second. Ollie Zwar, fastest in Val di Sole Trentino. Next up, Thibaut Deprella leaves the start hut in Val di Sole Trentino. And if one thing is guaranteed, this is going to be all action from the French national champion.
The first 2 turns already looked like it.
Two-wheel drifting his way through that corner.
Oh, he's lost his chain. Look at that. He snapped it out of that other corner.
The chain's gone already.
You could hear the crack. You could see the little flick of the chain come up there.
Well,
he hit those first 2 corners and gave him a bit of a shroud that's going to cost him a little bit of time. Now, Ain't no pedaling for you.
Luckily for us, Josh, we are joined in the commentary booth by one of the world's foremost experts in chainless runs, Nico Mullally. Nico, he just has to crack on here, doesn't he?
It almost changes your mindset. You know that you can't pedal out of the turn, so you need to carry more exit speed.
He's 1.3 seconds faster in the first split.
Almost makes you ride better, actually.
What? That was perfectly timed. You've nailed that. 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds now at split 3.
It's not that crucial to pedal, so it's all about pedaling and getting off the brakes and having the kahunas to make it happen. But a mistake like this, he's going to eat into that 3-second advantage.
There were nearly shades of Aaron Gwynn in 2015 and Leogang. A mistake there from Deprella, but he's got a margin to play with here, Nico.
It didn't seem like that slowed him down much. He really, he took a foot off, but he didn't lose speed.
We could be on the cusp of seeing something very, very special from Thibaut Deprella here. I mean, we already are, but if he can get this to the line and get into the hot seat without a chain.
He's got a bit of a head bob going on, so he might be starting to tighten up a little bit.
It's interesting, in some of these tight turns, you almost use the chain to balance a little bit. So without having that, he didn't have the pedal to kick against.
2.1 seconds for Deprella now.
2.1 seconds with this big sprint to go. He's got 2 corners in. He is going to tuck for his life coming down here.
It's really this final sprint to the line where he's going to lose out, because we've seen people get maybe 1-2 pedal strokes out of this left-hander, but it's after the right-hander where you can really, really stand on the gas. And is Thibaut Deprella going to come down without a chain and go into the hot seat? Aaron Gwynn did it in 2015, and Leogang is Thibaut Deprella about to do it here in Val di Sole. He goes fastest without a chain by 2 seconds.
Wow, that was incredible.
No chain, no problem for Thibaut Deprella. There it goes, Josh.
Yeah, so it went early. He came out of those early couple of corners and we heard him give it a bit of a shroud. He got so lucky here that it flicked straight out the back.
You've still got Dylan Maples in the finals, Nico. What performance.
Yeah, he's got what it takes to do good runs. He's got the speed and the support of this team as well. I think he mentioned that there was a little bit more support now that Amory's out. They gave him a little bit of extra treatment. Maybe some of the parts off Amory's bike even, they said that he got to ride on the second day of practice once Amory was out. So they're going all in on Dylan.
Max Commensal watching on the bottom. The man whose name is on the bike on your screen now. 2.5 seconds back for Maples. Nico, it's not going his way at the minute.
Yeah, he opts for that high line there. He jumps across the track and then goes for the high setup as well. So that was a pretty cool line.
Maples on course, rattles the pole on the way through. Really, really great shot from the live drone. This gives you an idea of just they're in free fall through here, Josh.
Yeah, and they've really got to pay attention. Yet another section right here now. We saw a lot of riders go left. High line, cut it back across earlier in our finals. Now a lot of the top men. Oh, he almost tucks the front coming into the Scott double jump. Not the spot you want to do that.
2.9 seconds back. He's lost 0.4 of a second. 59.5 kilometers an hour through the speed trap.
He's doing good. Maybe that isn't stress. It's just him fighting, him just stepping into it.
Yeah.
It's not on pump. It's just his strength starting to shine.
Very, very powerful rider. Will make some time back up on the pedals here, Dylan Maples. So as Dylan Maples about to head into the hot seat here in Val di Sole Trentino, the American stands on the gas. 1 jump to go. Heads for home. Dylan Maples down to the line, crosses it and goes second. 1.3 seconds behind Deprella. Max Commensal likes it. Nico Mullally, great run. Look at the tyres. Super aggressive tread pattern to cut through the dust. Here comes Loris.
Another rider that qualified well yesterday with only half the air in his rear tyre.
15th in Leogang. We haven't seen the best of him yet this year, Nico, but this might be his day today.
Loris is light enough on his feet. He can get away with half the air in his tyre.
Well,
it's a bit of a drift into that second corner there.
Watching on track, Loris and Jackson were the two that stood out to me, so I expect to see a big run from him.
Here he comes through the next split, 2.9, so he's lost another 6/10. Josh, you're shaking your head.
Well, I'm just trying to see where this time is. I mean, we saw Thibaut come through and riding that ragged edge. Thibaut had a mistake here, which cost him a little bit of time, but Loris is still looking effortless.
I mean, that's terrifying by itself, that Deprella still had time up there.
Still had time up there for sure with that big mistake, and no chain. Let's not forget about that.
Whoa!
Dipping it out, settle down, drifter. Come on, Loris, you got to pull back a little bit of time here. So it's not quite clicking for Loris Vergier yet, but again, 3 seconds back. It's still within the top 10. This is still a solid result.
He's ahead of where Dylan was, and Dylan went into second, so I think he's in touch.
Deprella, Maples, Zwar, Williams, Shaw, 1.8, so he's brought some time back now. Vergier. Here comes the UCI downhill world champion then. Loris Vergier for Commensal. Muck off by Ride and Addiction. Where is he going to slot home? Is it going to be in the second place behind his compatriot Deprella? No, it's in the third. 1.7 seconds back. Bruni has never won here in Val di Sole Trentino. 120 beats per minute. Seems calm in the gate. It's all but calm now.
Nice and calm with those fluorescent red Brembo brakes. What a brand to bring into the sport under the one and only Loic Bruni. Fantastic to hear from him about his battle and the influence that Jackson Goldstone has had on someone like Loic and how hard he is chasing the detail to compete with this new generation of athlete. This is looking good from Loic. He's going to bring back a little bit of time here, I think.
Laurent and Tim watch on at the bottom. What is the next split going to tell? It looks good from Bruni. Nearly got away from him there. 2.1 seconds back.
Oh, he's got a good line through the middle there. That was from the outside to the inside. So Deprella has lit it up through the middle section. Bruni's got it up against him towards the bottom half. Now this is still within touch because Loris Vergier was back at this point. So Loic Bruni's got a charge through this lower section here. He has mentioned before about his arm pumping on this track. So he's really had to pay attention to maintain his form and his grip in this lower section, of course.
Sun's just dipped behind the cloud momentarily, but here comes Loic Bruni.
He's going to need to be the right side of the second here to get the points he needs for the overall.
The bright green jersey of the UCI World Cup overall points leader heads across the bridge and heads down towards the hot seat, or does he? Fourth place, 1.9 seconds back. Laurent Delorme, inscrutable at the finish. Bruni puffs the cheeks. Brosnan leaves the star hut then. The man from Adelaide, 4 career wins to his name so far. If he gets another today, it would equal that of his team manager and downhill legend Fabien Barel. Hits that whole square.
It's interesting to see the different tire choices from the riders. I remember my first year here, 2010, Mark Beaumont won on full wet screens in the dry.
What?
Mud tires, big old spikes on them. Brosnan really neatly through there. Look really, really good, Josh.
Now, I think these upper couple of turns, there's some time to be made. This is where Thibaut really accelerated with no chain, obviously. But Troy stepping out just a little bit. He's got to refocus here. He's a little bit off his main line, but he's carrying good speed.
0.3 of a second, that is absolutely nothing, and it's much closer than we've seen a lot of people so far. One rider left at the top after this man, Troy Brosnan. Jackson Goldstone awaits, but can Brosnan outpace Deprella here in Val di Sole Trentino?
He's got to get the backsides down this next section. This carries a lot of speed into the lower half. He almost tucked the front here last year, so he'll know exactly where he needs to clean up. He's had a good qualification. Butters the Scott step down.
1 second now at
Come on,
split
Troy.
3. What do you think of this, Nico Mullally, so
It looked
far?
like he just made a mistake in that turn right after the split there. But we saw Thibaut have a mistake in this section as well, so it may still be pretty tightly masked.
Well, best we've seen of Brosnan so far, another rider with that flight attendant suspension.
Charging hard. He's still right within touch, carrying extraordinary speed into the lower corner.
Has to dab a foot, but loses absolutely nothing at all. He was 7th last time out in Leogang, but this is looking really, really strong here from Brosnan.
And a second faster in split 3 than what we've seen from Dylan Maples
He's
and
faster by
Vergier.
0.4 of a second at split 4 for Brosnan now.
Come on, Troy Brosnan. Let's see what you got here, Turbo. He's got a couple of corners to go. This is where he excelled last year, coming home all the way to the finish line.
Fabien Barel down the bottom might be about to see his wins tally equalled by his team member, Troy Brosnan. Brosnan out into the open, heads towards the finish arena here in Val di Sole Trentino. Roared on 62 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. Enters the right-hander. Here comes Troy Brosnan down to the line. Is he about to go fast enough to take his 5th UCI Downhill World Cup win? Brosnan crosses the line and goes fastest by 0.9 of a second.
Come on, Troy.
Val di Sole Trentino. What a run from the Australian.
Oh, Baden and Chris will be in the grandstands lifting the roof off it.
From Canada for the Santa Cruz Syndicate.
I almost don't want to watch.
This is one of those ones that is going to go all the way to the wire. Can the last rider at the top of the mountain get the win? It is Jackson Goldstone on course now. Troy Brosnan with a 3:41.2 is in the hot seat. 1 in St. Anne at the end of last year, Brosnan. This man, though, has done a lot of winning in 2025.
He's so good at this rock section. He's able to skip a lot of the big holes. He jumps over some of the sharp stuff. He's just bouncing down the track and able to do a lot more pickups than a lot of the other riders.
Yeah, look at the speed he's carrying already. Just carrying some great speed through the apex of those early corners. That style Nico's talking about, really evident in the first split, and the time is about to tell us.
That fourth win brought him equal with the late great Stevie Smith, Troy Brosnan, Danny Hart, Chris Kavarik.
Jackson Goldstone single-handedly changing the face of downhill.
And look at the face of Loic Bruni in the finish area, watching on. Bruni knows that he wants to keep that green jersey as we head to the 5th round, and this is his big rival. He is with just over...
Oh, look at the jump through the trees!
Just over 100th of a second back now. Goldstone yet to turn the split lights green. No.
Jackson Goldstone into the green as we come down to the crucial second half.
The more roots, the better for the Squamish native. Troy Brosnan watches on the finish. He's 1.3 seconds faster now at the third split for Jackson Goldstone. Is he about to make it 3 in a row? Nobody's done it since Danny Hart in 2016.
It was a lot cleaner through this section. A nice jump in. Remember, Troy had a pretty big mistake in that left, and so did Tebow. So I expect him to extend this here if he can hit these tight turns well.
Goldstone, ultra aggressive, but it's working for him.
No!
Hung on to it.
He's got a bit of a buffer.
Has that cost him the win today? Goldstone will need to get him down to the next split before we can find out. Gets back, all his ducks in a line. Goldstone continues to attack, 1.6. He's extended by 0.3 of a second now.
Doesn't even need his feet clipped in, and he jumps off the off-camber step down. What is happening in front of us? Jackson Goldstone putting down yet another iconic run for the 3rd week in a row.
Huge pull for Jackson Goldstone. Is this going to be enough? Is this going to be his 3rd win on the bounce? Is it going to be a three-peat for Goldstone? Hangs on to it through the left-hand corner. 1 to go, then he just has to cross the bridge. Here comes Jackson Goldstone. Is it going to be 3 in a row in 2025 for the Santa Cruz Syndicate? Jackson Goldstone wins by 2.4 seconds in Val di Sole Trentino. The first rider to do 3 of the bounce since Danny Hart in 2016. What a run from that man.
That was incredible. The sections that he made time, the way he danced through the rocks and the roots, that was iconic and absolutely spectacular from Jackson Goldstone. This is 3 rounds in a row. This is unheard of. This young man from Canada is changing the face of our Downhill World Cup series, and it is here with authority and absolutely smashing it. What a great result from Troy Brosnan to be there. One of the best against one of the brand new champions of our sport.
Oh man, that was a really good run from today. I felt like I was hitting all my lines good. There was moments I had my foot out, like dabbing 3 times in that one soft one, but man, yeah, that just came from a lot of motivation from the past 2 wins, and then, you know, just the confidence build in practice and everything. It just felt like it was going to happen. So yeah, I was confident in my run the whole way down. I felt like I left nothing out there, and yeah, that was a good one.
Here are the results then. Goldstone from Brosnan, Deprelli are top 3. Maples up in 4th ahead of his teammate Vergier. Bruni in 6th. Zwar held on for 7th. Williams, Shaw, Ronan Dunn in 10th. Luke Meyer-Smith ahead of Introzzi and Oisin O'Callaghan. Better and better in 2025. 100 points to the good. That's going to require a new Fox speed suit, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they have that made. They're ready to go.
I think they might have suspected that maybe, just maybe, they might need an overall points leader skin suit. For that man, Goldstone, Brosnan and Deprella, your top 3 here. He sees him lead the overall points chase by 100 points now from Loic Bruni. Vergier up in the 3rd, chipping away at it, Vergier, but 349 back. Piron injured in 4th, Deprella in 5th now, who leapfrogs Lucas Shaw. Brosnan's in 7th, then it's Williams. And they hold them for a long time, but they are off and racing here in Val di Sole Trentino. Lyra Steger makes a good start off the centre. Puck Peterson to the right-hand side, draws alongside her. Jen Jackson right at the front as well, Ollie.
Yeah, and Jenny Risved's just slow to clip in. They held him on the line for a long time.
Yeah, Haley, that must just go on interminably whenever you're stuck there waiting.
Yeah, I mean, and this is actually a really exciting start lap. It's the short track course, so all these riders actually know it well. They know every corner, and it's such a loose course with so much single track. To get in the front is going to be really important.
Scary start loop.
Yeah.
You know, it's so open. Obviously, not talking about your crash, but the potential of that is quite high on this start loop.
Absolutely, yeah. And they're going hard. I can tell you this pace is no joke.
And is that, we talk about it every week, it's to try and get yourself into some clear air and away from the traffic, because that's where the pile-ups will come.
Absolutely.
Risvids leads them here then for the Canyon Collective as we see the chainsaws getting fired up at the side of the course. Noisy old place this, whether it's race day or the night after the race. But this looks like a serious puncher. You can see Steger attacking Puck now. But Puck Peterson moves past Jenny Risvids. You just saw Steger try to sort of launch pad her way initially up that climb, but Peterson to the front. There's Keller attacking Kohler, this big steep roll in then.
I think Puck's not daft. She knows that Risveds was putting her under pressure in that first half, and she'll be looking now to take control of the race, get into the lead on this 4-track, just slow it down a little bit, and then use the second climb, I think, to kind of turn the tables.
And this is a big effort that Jenny's doing right now. She's not messing around.
This is a big effort from Jenny Risvids up this climb, attacking Puck Peterson. Now, Ollie, this is looking like it's going to be a head-to-head between these two.
And you can just see the kind of body language of Puck. It's hurting a little bit. She's putting her under pressure.
And look at Laura. She decided, you know, I'm not maybe going to go with that effort. And now she's going to maybe wait and ride with this second group because, yeah, you just have to race your own race.
8 seconds up there alone.
They always go off fast, but this looks like it's particularly fast.
These descents so blowing out and dusty as well. You really have to trust the front end of the bike that it's going to grip and swing round for you.
And you can't make mistakes in conditions like this. When you start to get tired, it's easy to make mistakes. Yeah, she's really going.
Talk about body language for the first time today. Ollie Beckinsale's just revved the invisible motorbike.
It looks like a short track. It's like this attack is crazy.
She saw she had a little bit of a gap and was just like, right, I'm going to get her out the slipstream and make her work. But I mean, we're talking about a long race, and I thought they were going to kind of respect this course. This course is so extremely physical.
Here we go back at the front though. It's still punch and counter punch. Puck Peterson now leads up this climb, swings out just to get a better line up that last little punch.
These climbs are they're so steep. They're about 20-30 seconds long, and
this looks like a gap now forming between Puck Peterson and Jenny Risvids. We need to get a visual on Risvids here. Is this attack from Puck Peterson? It is indeed, yeah. Risvids now further back off the back of the UCI World Champion.
She looks like she's kind of rolling these tech stuff a little bit. Maybe she's got a flat, or maybe the rear.
Let's have a look now, keep an eye. Look at Puck Peterson though, no signs of cracking whatsoever from the Flying Dutchwoman, cracking on here at the front instead. Peterson, 17 seconds now to the good, ahead of Jenny Risvids into this really fast descent. A really technical little roll in that, Haley, as well. Need to get it right.
Yeah, consistent technical sections. Even these corners, they're very loose. There's some rocks after this corner as well, and you just have to be smart about not only how you ride them, but how you manage your equipment, avoiding flats like just Mona just had, and every section matters.
There is the battle for third currently between Kohler and Steger. They've got Jen Jackson in close company as well for Arbea Fox. And then it's the overall points leader, Sammy Maxwell.
But in 25 minutes of racing, 11th position, 10th position is a minute back. I mean, this is...
That's a big gap.
Yeah, you don't sometimes get those big time splits if it's a really muddy race. That splits the field a bit, but with these dry races, that's pretty rare.
And to see Jenny Risvids rolling through the tech feed zone now.
Puck's going really hard. You can see she's cresting every climb. She's not letting up at all. Yeah. It's from point A to point B every single lap. She's just putting the hammer down, and that's impressive.
She's coming over that bridge, coming around the corner, and it looks like, like you say, it looks like a short track.
It blows my mind up because...
Oh, wow. Jenny's now with this pack. Both Nicole and Laura caught Jenny. And Sammy's right behind with Jen right in touch as well.
Yeah, they've swallowed up Jenny Risvids here, the rider who was in second place. So now Nicole Kohler, second place on the road. There's Jen Jackson struggling to live with the pace off that group. So interesting to see if now Ristvids can stabilise in this group, Ollie, or if she is in free fall after that initial lap and a half, 2 laps.
Yeah, I mean, that's the risk you take, kind of going with someone like Puck, and we did see
Maxwell's there too on the number 1 bike.
And she did one of the fastest laps again.
Yeah.
Samara Maxwell does not know when she's beaten in 2025. What a ride from the Kiwi.
An amazing tactic by Ristvids by putting the pressure on, but yeah.
Puck Peterson down! Down in the
And
root
they're not
section.
far back, actually. They're almost to the top of this descent.
Puck Peterson not quickly back on the bike either, just got sort of bobbled off across those routes there and doesn't look that comfortable.
And it was
We'll need
that
to see if they can
4-line
close the
section.
distance.
Oh, and Laura's attacking this climb too. She knows she needs to get in front for this descent because she's just riding so well right now, and it can help.
Laura Steger leads them up that climb then. Jenny Ristvids was in second place. Samara Maxwell now in trouble at the top of the climb, manages to hang on to it. But all of a sudden, this race kicking up a few notches.
And you were saying about
there.
Laura Steger, how quick she is on the descent. Got the space, and instantly she's got 5 or 6 metres on Nicole Collar.
There we go. Puck Peterson, we're being told, lost 20 seconds with that crash, but has already gained 5 of them
Wow.
back. There she is. That's by
back
riding like
attacking.
that. That will do it.
It looks
mean-
like a short track.
Yeah, that's how she looks, and she was able, like I said earlier, she just put it behind her, she moved on, and she's trying to get to that finish line as fast as she can.
Looks like the Isle of Man TT, never mind the short track. Puck Peterson blasting her way up that climb, and that's definitely one of those areas that she feels that she's the strongest on and can attack.
But Sammy Maxwell now up to second, so she's now leading the chase. And we've still got a lot of race left.
Yeah.
And that'll be interesting. The pace that Sammy's doing, it's fast. If the other group can hang on to her, they might close some time here.
See the 4-cross gate on the right-hand side there. This track raced on the other night.
Group of 4 now splitting into 2-2s. There's a good 8-second gap between them.
Samara Maxwell looks like she is just getting faster and faster. However, as this race goes on, looking really comfortable all of a sudden now. Sends that double.
Yeah, Sammy Maxwell the fastest on that last lap with a 12:32.
Wow.
Now look at Maxwell starting to stretch the elastic back to Laura Steger now.
Wow.
Look at Sammy Maxwell go. Maxwell starting to extend and looking stronger and stronger for that second place finish. Ahead of the rider in your shot now. Laura Steger, Specialized Factory Racing, grits her teeth behind her. Nicole Kohler and Jenny Ristvids continue to do battle.
Wow, and they're all in sight. That's something when you're racing, they're so close. And she's charging.
Race mode engaged.
I'm curious to see what the time gap is after the second half of the lap.
Well, we know Puck Peterson has been so strong on these climbs. There is Samara Maxwell almost in the same shot now. What a ride this is from Samara Maxwell. 32 seconds the distance between them.
And if Maxwell can see her, that's a big deal. Once you can see the prey, and you're like, right. And especially on a section of course where they've always been out of sight, like this climb, and all of a sudden you see them just going around the top corner.
Yeah, Jenny Ristvids, what a ride this would be from her. Puck Peterson takes the bell.
And she did not go through the feed zone, actually. So that's a little bit of time there as well.
Puck Peterson grits the teeth and heads out on the last lap off 7 here in Val di Sole Trentino. Behind her,
Sammy is. So that's where a little bit of time when you reach out for that bottle on that last lap. Although it's cooling, look, now she has to pause. She even stopped pedaling, and Puck was in attack mode all the way through there.
really, really choppy through there as well. It takes just that little bit more effort. Roared on by the team. Great ride this from Samara Maxwell. She's found another 2 seconds down to 33 again, so it's really that climb that Puck Peterson is doing so much damage on out the back of the track, and everywhere else, Samara Maxwell's making forward progress, but is she running out of track here in Val di Sole Trentino to do it on Kohler?
Laura got the bottle that time. That's good. I'm glad. Yeah, she needs that for this last lap with those two girls. She's giving her maximal effort to this race. This is how she rides. It's not just about if she wins, it's how much effort can I give.
For this section, we're dipping in and out. There's all these ups and downs, just trying to stay on your line, just trying to almost imagine it's just a practice lap rather than the last lap of a World Cup.
Yeah.
How hard is it, Haley, this late in a race to just keep that concentration?
It's really hard.
Up into third place now, Jenny Rissvids. What a performance this has been from her. Ran with Puck Peterson over the first couple of laps, then backed out slightly, we think, anyway, certainly in the booth. Pace too high, but she's currently got herself back on the podium. There's Samara Maxwell, 46 seconds, so she looks like her forward momentum has been halted slightly by a late resurgence on lap 7 out of 7 from Puck Peterson. It is all to play for here late in the day in Val di Sole Trentino, and Laura Steger refuses to give in to Jenny Rissvids. Right in the zone now, Steger wants that last step on the podium for her own.
Yeah, I said she'd be happy with a top 5, but maybe not.
No, maybe not.
She wants top 3.
Look at this though, these two welded together.
But you saw it change. Like so you were saying, Laura Steger was 5th position, chuffed with that. Then it just switched and changed. Nicole Kohler drops back, Rissvids comes through.
There is Nicole Kohler, only 8 seconds back off the Warren pair in front of her. Here she comes, Puck Peterson. Won here in 2023, was second in 2024, and makes a bit of history, becomes the first woman to do the double in elite level UCI Cross Country World Cup racing. Puck Peterson is peerless in Val di Sole Trentino. What a result, what a ride from the UCI World Champion.
That's a big deal. Like you said, double.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
First person in the elite women's ranks to have done it. And look at Puck Peterson just chilling. Absolutely chilling here at the finish. But here comes Samara Maxwell. Take nothing away from that woman. Superb ride today. Had to come through traffic.
26 seconds at the end. That's pretty cool. Oh,
Laura.
Oh, are we going to see the sprint?
Let's see the sprint finish. And Laura Steger's got past Jenny Rissvids. Haley Batten's teammate Laura Steger gets on the podium. Third place for Steger today. She's been superb.
What a fight. That was cool.
Behind
Happy
her.
with a 5th.
Happy with a 5th. You should never doubt it.
That's
Imagine you
great.
at the hotel later say, no, Laura, you don't have to watch that back today. That's fine. I knew you had it in you the whole way. Jenny Rissvids is 4th. Behind her, Nicole Kohler. Another top 5 finish for Kohler in 2025.
We didn't know the top 5 until they crossed that finish line, you know?
Yeah.
Like, no idea.
Listen to these two enjoying it.
You should watch it live more often.
Yeah. Honestly, we see everything in here.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, I already knew from the short track she was strong, and yeah, she went out hard, and I decided to follow a bit and not go as long as in Leogang. And then I noticed a few spots where I was maybe a bit quicker, so I tried to make the best of it. And then I got a gap and had to go for it.
Puck Peterson wins by 26 seconds in the end then from Samara Maxwell, Laura Steger, Jenny Rissvids, Nicole Kohler rounding out the top 5. Then it was Jen Jackson, Neff, Blunk, Graf and Urban. But there was no catching Puck Peterson. Alpecin de Koenig on the top step, does the double. 4 wins on the cross-country bike in a row. First elite woman to do so. And here's how the overall shapes up then after that race. Sammy Maxwell leads the way by 341 points now ahead of Kohler. Peterson up into 3rd despite having missed 2 rounds this season. Then it's Rissvids and Jackson, the top 5. Here's the course he's going to try and back it up on today in Val di Sole Trentino. 3.5 kilometers the journey. Slightly tweaked. Very, very similar as it has been in the last couple of seasons. Big fast ascent through the 4 cross section out of the woods. And then that really heartbreaking, lung-sapping climb back up to the top before a fast descent back into the field. And then you pick up the final bit of the short track course. and green they go in Val di Sole Trentino. Thomas Litcher in the black jersey, really, really strong off the line, as is Christopher Blevins in the red of Specialized Factory Racing. But it's Luca Martin from Cannondale Factory Racing who leads the way.
Yeah, Luca Schwartzbauer, not the best of starts, missed his pedal, he's just drifted back to 10th.
Dario Lillo, Carter Woods, the two giant riders involved in things right from the start, and there has been a tangle further down the pack. Is that Mario Bear? Hard to see from this angle as the dust continues to rise in Val di Sole Trentino. It's been sweltering hot here all week, and this track is like a dust bowl. So meanwhile, out front, Lillo from Blevins, Martin, Woods is in there, Litcher.
Yeah, cool to see the giant factory riders, not just Alan Hafley, missed the short track due to sickness, but back in this one, but Lillo, Woods and Shermans as well, all having a great short track, and it's Lillo leaving it out.
Yeah, we saw in the elite women's race this first couple of laps can be absolutely key here in Val di Sole Trentino. As I say that, it's Victor Koretsky, his teammate. There's Filippo Colombo in the Swiss national champs jersey as well, behind the two Specialized Factory Racing riders. Up behind him, Carter Woods of Giant Factory Off-Road, and it's Martin. Aldridge.
Yeah, good start for Filippo Colombo, Aldridge as well. Martin Vadari, Lucas coming through as well, not a bad start for him, he's in that right chain.
Look at Colombo go up through there on the number 12.
Yeah, this is putting down the watts now. And the gap's appearing. You see Blevins struggling to hold the wheel to Martin. A gap appearing behind Brido.
And if you're Chris Blevins, okay, Colombo attacking early doors is going to be in the potential things that could happen, but you've got a bit of a joker in the pack in Luca Martin, the young rider. Yeah. First year elite, they don't really know what to expect from him, but he's taking it to Colombo out front here. Listen to the chainsaw. Oh. I said this in the elite women's race, I cannot believe there's any pre-mixed fuel left for them after the downhill yesterday, but look at Colombo.
The power he's putting down out the saddle.
This is punchy stuff on lap 2 out of 8. Cross that road gap, and you cannot underline enough how dodgy both the takeoff and landing for that thing is in these conditions.
Aldridge is looking great, just carrying speed. We know how smooth he is. And it's Luca Brido on this big climb. Local support cheering him on, just dropping his heels out the saddle, moving past Filippo Colombo. And up here, 20% on the steepest section that Aldridge is on now, and Aldridge as well pushing down the power, just distancing Luca Martin by a metre or so.
But they're all into the tech feed zone on this lap.
You see how rough it is through the feed zone.
Martin
wheels
missing
all
the
over
bottle.
the place.
Martin just too eager to grab that bottle, missed it, and we talked about it earlier today, Ollie. That can just be a bit of a hiccup. It can upset your rhythm, especially on a hot day like today. Charging away at the front. This next group, though, has caught up with them. I think there was just a pause in hostilities there for bottles and gels at the start of this lap, and it's brought Azaro shelled this front of the race now. Martin leading away from Colombo, and I mean, I feel like it sort of dogs him, but we do have to mention that Luca Martin was in the lead of an under-23 UCI World Cup here a couple of years ago by some margin, only to suffer a double flat at the front and rear tires of the bike on the very last lap. Look, right in amongst them. We did say these two would arrive back at the front, and here comes Fabio Puntener.
And dragged Martin Vadari with it.
Puntener now leads.
Wow.
Just as we saw in Arasha, Puntener using the option of not heading into the tech feed zone as a springboard for an attack that's put him back out in front. He's brought Azaro with him, he's brought Vadari with him. All of a sudden, this is a very, very different bike race, Ollie.
The speed of Brido on the outside.
Brido knows as well. He knows this is one he needs to get back into contention here. Luca Brido, the man, the Italian national champions jersey in fourth wheel now, as we see Colombo swing out to overtake Puntener to re-establish himself back at the front now. So Puntener has joined the party late, but he's brought plenty of reserves of energy with him. There's Matisse Azaro now in the orange jersey of Origine.
The speed they're hitting these hills, these are steep climbs, they're out the saddle, pressing on.
Look at this. Colombo maybe just trying to capitalize on that element of chaos brought forward by the arrival of Puntener and Azzaro and Vidari to launch an attack of his own now.
But Fabio hitting the front, and then it's just suddenly blown this group up.
Look at the lap times, 10:39.9 for Puntener on lap 4. That's how he's done it. Vidari went with him and Azzaro, Avendetto sink. Azzaro, though, by himself in our shot all of a sudden. Is this an attack from Matisse Azzaro now on lap 5 out of 8 here in Val di Sole Trentino? The 5th round of the UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup in 2025. Now led by the Frenchman.
Yeah, Matisse Azzaro, a younger rider, 25, again, one of those riders at the front of U23 racing a couple of years ago. It just took him a little while last year. We saw him second place at the end of the season.
Look how strung out it's getting now. Look how strung out this attack from Matisse Azzaro is making things. Braido visibly slower on that descent to my eye. Behind the French rider in front of him, Azzaro silky smooth through here, manuals his way through the doubles. And a flat tyre for Filippo Colombo. We saw he was down in 8th, and that is why. Absolute drama here. Heartbreak for the Scotch Ram rider. Look at the face. Points to the rear to let the team know, and still staying with Matisse Azzaro on the way up there. Can't take your eyes off this one.
Alan Hafferley as well, 10th position now, 55 back.
And still, only one rider in this top 5 has ever won a UCI Cross Country Olympic World Cup before.
Yeah, it's been amazing to see it. I think it's the year, we always have it post-Olympics. You get some of the older riders, they have that focus for one last games, and then they just drop a little bit, but the fresh blood just bounces up. And I've never seen so many riders on the start line. We were talking about it with Hayley Batten before, the women's race, that there's kind of 20 riders.
Look at Vidari through the forest now.
Going past Luca Braido on the hardest climb.
Vidari moving to the front of this race as we look at it. Right in front of our very eyes, Vidari heading towards the front for Specialized Factory Racing. Puntener fighting to stay in touch here, but it's Martin Vidari, the Chilean, is on the move here. Pulls across that road gap to the moon.
Here, very, very different courses.
13 seconds to Vidari now, who is gapping away from Luca Braido. 13 seconds now, coming in.
Yeah, Vidari riding smooth. Braido just stalling a little bit, and I think it'll be Puntener pulling back on this lap.
Yeah, we know Puntener this season has been really strong across the last couple of laps.
But Vidari's coming back, and
look at it, look at the gap. This is an absolute slugfest here in Val di Sole Trentino between Matisse Azzaro and Martin Vidari.
But the speed.
Look at Vidari, and poker faced as well. Vidari looking really, really strong here today.
Gear 3 or 4 at the back, and that's the steepest section of the course. He was out the saddle, just riding like a... We know good he is on the tech as well.
8 seconds now, 8 seconds between Azzaro and Vidari. They could well be back together very, very soon here.
3rd in round 1 in Arshar, 2nd in round 2.
6 seconds now. 6 seconds on the board, he's coming back, just sits down, knows that the catch is basically on.
But you see high cadence, upper body, good core strength. That's a rider that's not on the edge yet.
Right, swap places then. If you're Martin Vidari, how do you now play this as he arrives at the front of the race? Is he going to go straight past Azzaro?
Straight past.
Straight past?
Yeah, 100%. He knows he's got the momentum. I think if you're Vidari, you'd like to just get past.
He wants to
have the lead going into the descent.
I think he wants ahead of him onto the descent, and he does so. Martin Vidari now leads the race here in Val di Sole Trentino. Vidari leads in Italy.
Put the pressure on straight away.
And this is it. The dance begins now. Has Azzaro got anything left to deal with this attack from the Chilean? This one is gonna go down to the wire. Vidari just checking over the shoulder. And this will be interesting now as they head on to the descent. Can Azzaro live with the pace of this man? Oh, like he's been dropped off the roof of a block of flats. Martin Vidari. Press and send here in Val di Sole Trentino. Look at the gap starting to form already. Azzaro's a great descender. Vidari's one of the best ever. Watch him go.
That's one way to hit the front of a World Cup.
Basically scrubs off the end of that bridge.
Important for these guys still, both don't deviate from the plan, take your water, take the cooling. But you see, Vidare just straight on the gas. Whoa, and that lap. Oh. So the gap, 10:30.
What are we going to see here? Oh, Brido getting all out of shape and nearly going straight into the side of the bridge. Luca Brido massively overcooks it. Whoa, he's done so well to get away with that one. I think the front wheel just gave out from underneath him. Puntener now has got past him. Or has he? Yeah, Puntener's passed him as they cross the line. There's the gaps back. Blevins, Koretsky. Brido, do you know what? He's stabilised really well in 4th place.
But he's going to have to watch out. He's got Charlie Aldridge just behind.
Tell you what, he was inches away from having pieces of that Willier strewn across the hillside here in Val di Sole Trentino. Their 2nd place as it stands at the minute, Matisse Azzaro. This young man charges on out front on the last lap. Martin Vidari for Specialized Factory Racing on that S-Works Epic.
And for Vidari as well, the first half of this lap, there's more chance of issues. It's more technical this second half. A bit faster, a bit smoother.
23 seconds stand between him and becoming the first rider from Chile to win a UCI World Cup race. Here he comes, Martin Vidari celebrates with the team and heads for home. This is the dawning of a new age of cross-country racing. Chile has a new hero. Vidari victorious in Val di Sole. What a result from Martin Vidari. For the first time today in the booth, we are speechless. Martin Vidari gets it done for Specialized Factory Racing. What a result from one of the big stars of this sport. Take your hat off. Chapeau to Matisse Azzaro. These two set to do battle for years to come. Azzaro settles for 2nd place. Big smile on his face. The Origin squad will have appreciated that effort. And another top 3 for Fabio Puntener. Look at that for a podium. Vidari, Azzaro, Puntener, Brido, the highest placed man to have won a UCI Cross Country World Cup in 4th prior to today. Charlie Aldridge in 5th.
A surprise top 3, and you think 25, 25 and 26 years old.
Unbelievable. This is the dawning of a new generation. There's a sprint. Blevins taking on Avendetto behind him. Blevins crosses the line and gets it done for 8th place. This will not be a quiet evening in Val di Sole Trentino. Koretsky out sprinted Matthias Flukiger. 27th. Be interesting to see Koretsky find out who's won that one.
It is your first win. You're also the first Chilean to win an Elite World Cup in any discipline. So what does that mean to you?
Viva Chile! Yeah, it's incredible. Like, it's been a long way to be here. It's my 3rd year in Elite, and just win a World Cup is just all what you want. So I'm more than happy. And this is for my people, for my country. It's just amazing. I'm so happy. So yeah.
23 seconds, the winning margin then, ahead of Azzaro. Puntener, what a story. No team, no problem. Luca Brido in 4th, Aldridge in 5th, Shelb, Shatti, Blevins, Avendetto and Colombo. Your top 10 by 1 minute 24. Martin Vidari tastes Elite UCI World Cup victory for the first time. Won that under 23 UCI World Championship title here in Val di Sole in 2021. Taking him a couple of years to get up to speed in elites, but he did so in some style today. Blevins leads by 330 points now from Martin Vidari, up into second place ahead of Viktor Koretsky, Specialized 1-2-3. Forster Puntener up in 5th place now, Fabio Puntener ahead of Schwarzbar, Colombo, Azaro in 8th, Andre Sink in 9th, Tess Flukiger in 10th.